Alright, here I am at a 6029 Mendota, and I'm just going to check your property real quick, see if there was any damage. I always check the windows and the screens. You can kind of tell what side and angle if you had any damage. You can kind of see on the shutters, you have a little bit of marks here on your screens on the bottom. You got holes and you have some dents across those. Your window beading looks good though on both of these. Your downspouts look good down here. There might be a dent or two up there, but they look pretty good on this side. Just looking at your gutters from here too. I can't really see anything. Do have a little dent in this screen and a hole at the bottom. This shutter's actually kind of came loose here. It's hanging off the side. Your ACs have pretty solid covers here over the core, so none of your fins would have taken any damage, which is good. This side window, I do see a hole in the screen. It doesn't look like any dents or any window beading was messed up there. On this screen as well, it's intact. You have a dent, you have two dents, but it's intact. It looks pretty good. Looks like this shutter at the top is semi coming loose from the house. These downspouts look good. Let's see. Always like to check the garage door. It just looks pretty good. All the paint's good and there's no dents. This downspout as well. These things look pretty stout. Doesn't look like it took any damage at all. And then obviously your fence from this angle didn't take any kind of damage whatsoever. So just from the outside so far, it looks like you didn't take a lot of damage, or at least not on the left or the rear slopes. So it might not be too bad. I'll be able to tell once I get up on the roof. The front door and these windows, side windows, look good. We do have a couple dents, but these screens look intact. And like I said, you don't have any beading chips or any problem with that on these. Same with this guy, he's pretty covered with the trees and the house on this side. You have some moisture in the top window, but there's no beading or cracking, so we can't attribute that to storm damage. So this front side, this fence looks really good as well. And when it's the stain is kept up like this, it's fairly easy to see where the hail did come in at least the angle. And that doesn't look too bad on top either. Normally you'll just see a lot of damage on top. I think because of the house, it protected a lot because I don't really see anything on either side. So, okay, and your felt is tucked into the drip edge. The shingles are hanging over. I do see some wear just in this valley, but it's pretty common for valleys. And just going to check your gutters from the inside, and they look pretty good. Your pipe jack here, he looks real good. There's a couple dents here, but your nails are all cocked, so he doesn't look bad at all. just kind of looking from here as far as your front slope. It's a small portion, but I see a little bit, but not much on this front slope. This guy, he looks pretty good too. No dents in him. Normally your ridges are a good indication of how much damage it actually took, because it doesn't really matter the direction. Your ridges will, since they're at the top, they normally take a good amount. These look good actually. Everything's cocked, there's no exposed nail holes. Okay, this is a small section of your rear slope, and I am seeing some damage, wind and hail. Your chimney from here looks pretty good. All the flashing is intact. Let's see your gutters on this back side. They look pretty good actually. Don't really see any dents in them. I do see a good amount of granules in this backside, which makes me feel like the rear probably took a good amount of damage. Let's check these windows. These screens look good. You do have multiple dents on this screen. Multiple dents on this screen. This one's pretty good. None of the beading. Your siding soffits look pretty good. This screen's intact. He looks good. You do have a little chip in your beading here on the bottom of this one. Other than that, it looks pretty good. This is going to be another of your right slope, and you do have a good amount of wear on some of these shingles. There's a big hit right there. There's a big hit. So you definitely did take some hail damage, but it's not that bad. All right, here's your left slope. I'll just show you a little area that did take a good amount of damage. Should be able to see just the amount of missing granules in this area, and I'm going to just mark off some spots so it's easy for you to see. You got here, that's a hit, that's a hit, there. So just in the small area, you do have a significant amount of damage. Like I said, on your ridges here, on this back side, you can see all the granules are coming off. I'm going to actually mark off your top on your second story because it's a large area, and kind of show you what the adjuster does when he comes out. He'll come out with chalk just like I've got, and he'll mark off a 10 by 10 area on each of your slopes, and they're looking for 8 to 10 hail strikes. And just from looking here, you see your rear slope isn't too bad. I'm gonna mark it off though, just to make sure I can get 8 to 10, but it's definitely not gonna be your slope with the majority of damage. Your accessories, just gonna show you here, this really dented up. I'm not gonna mark this guy, but he's all dented up. Your box vents, are all dented up. It's like that on all 5 of these, so I'm just going to mark that one. You have a loose nail up here, I'll take that for you. Like you see, they're all dented up on all 5 of those. All your chimney water heater caps are all dented up. Okay, that's still intact. The boot was just a little loose. You're still good there. The good thing is whoever did this roof did a really good job. They've not only caulked all this flashing, the counter flashing, they've done the nails on the sides. They've tucked it over the pipe. So it all looks very good. Just, you definitely have had hail. So pretty much what we're gonna try to determine is whether you have enough damage to warrant a claim or not, and kind of what that claim will and won't cover. Your raised ridges are pretty good shape. Just from looking, I'm gonna say your right side probably has the majority of damage, followed by some on your front, and there was definitely some on your left. So let's see if I can get I think the good news is you don't have a lot of front slope. You have it down there on the second story, or I'm sorry, on the first story. You have a couple on these dormers, and then kind of down there, it's kind of your right and rear, down again on that first story. So here, I'll mark off the front here so you can see. Try to put it where it's not gonna just super stick out, but it's supposed to rain all this week, and this chalk washes off pretty good. So normally they do a 10 by 10. I'm not gonna get 10 by 10 here, but just looking at it, I don't think that I need to go 10 by 10 to get 8 to 10. All right, so now I try to look for them on different shingles because that's just what the adjusters normally do. They don't like to pair up. And just looking, I don't think it's going to be that hard. It's 3, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's just a blister. There's 9. We have some wear here. I'm not going to mark it because that's outside the box. There's 10. It's just missing granules. Here's 11. And let's just get one more for sure. Here you go. Okay, so let's see. Just in this area, I got 12. And like I said, this isn't going to be the majority of your damage. That's going to be the right slope with probably this front, and then at least what I saw in that first story on the left also had about this same amount. But like I said, just real close here, you got here, here, here. It's just not, it's not like you've seen on or I should say I've been seeing on a lot where it's probably 3 times this in this area, and he'll just mark front slope 12 plus, and he'll do that on all your slopes. He looks at all your accessories, same as I do. They mark them off, they take pictures. I'm going to go down on your first story now, since you don't have a lot of square footage up here of your left and right. I will just show you there is damage on this back slope. It's just not, it's just going to be your least amount of damage. So it looks pretty good. You can see some hail strikes here and there. There is wear, which kind of looks, you get that from high winds, lots of rain. I don't know if you can see your chimney cap and chase are dented up. like down below. This all looks good though. Normally this area, I like to look for damage because it's a sign of, or if it gets damaged, that's a potential spot for leaking. But you can kind of just see here, you got hail there. So your whole roof did take damage. It just didn't take a lot on this back side. Looks pretty good. You do have wear here, do have wear there. Like I kind of showed you on this left side, just the amount here. If I were to mark this off in this small area, I could find the amount that I needed. So I'm not going to mark this up anymore. But you can just kind of see the lack of granules that going down into the fiberglass on this side. Right here, right here, right here, on this. So I'm not going to mark this side up anymore. I will say that because you do have more than 10 on 3 slopes, even though 2 of them aren't your majority slopes, all your accessories, and I didn't see any on your gutters, but you definitely do have window and screen damage on several parts of the house. I would say that you do have cause to file a claim, and I would suggest you do file a claim. Alright, I did want to show you this right side, which is the worst, real quick, since this is facing your backyard. I'll mark it up. I know people don't like their roofs getting marked up, but just to show you that this was the worst side, just real quick, I'll be able to knock out, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's a blister right there, 7, 8, 9, it's 10, it's 11, 12, 13, 14, that's 15, and let's see if I can find one more. That's pretty good. So we got 15, like I said, just right here, and this is much smaller than a 10 by 10. So just wanted to show you that on that slope and just the extent of damage on that. Thank you very much.